In this Clickfunnels tutorial, I will show you step by step how to create your first funnel in Clickfunnels. We will cover how to set up your Clickfunnels account properly, and then how to use the Clickfunnels page editor to build your first funnel and workflow. If you follow along, by the end of this video, you will have a ready-to-use funnel built in Clickfunnels. Clickfunnels has a 14-day free trial, but if you use our link in the description below, it will extend your trial to 30 days, and you will receive our Clickfunnels course as a bonus. When you create your Clickfunnels account and log into it for the first time, on the left here you will see only main features. But you can easily add more features that are available in Clickfunnels, they're also called apps, by clicking on the button here. Here you will see all the other features that are available to you and that you can use in Clickfunnels. In Clickfunnels, you can build more than just funnels and landing pages. You can create your own site with a blog and a customer center, a store, use CRM features like Message Hub, opportunities, and appointments, build courses or membership areas, communities, manage your email marketing and affiliate program. The first thing that I recommend you to do before you start adding the features, before you start building your funnel, is to set up your account. To do that, go to the Workspace settings, General tab, and first fill in the information that you will see here. Then you can add different collaborators. If you have team members that will also work in your Clickfunnels account, you can add them as collaborator or as a sub-user. And then go to the email settings. If you're planning to use Clickfunnels to send emails to your contacts, you're not using any third-party autoresponder, you will need to go over the tabs in the email settings, like general settings, email addresses, topics, and email domains, and fill in the information here to be able to send emails from Clickfunnels later. After you do that, you can go to domains, and if you already have a domain that you want to connect to Clickfunnels and use it in the future, you can also do it already now by clicking Connect Existing Domain. Last but not least, you would need to connect your payment provider. Clickfunnels uses a service called Payments AI to process different payments. And you will need to create an account here and link it to your organization. And after that, you will be able to use Payments AI to process payments. Alternatively, you can also use a Stripe application if you're only using Stripe and want to connect it directly to Clickfunnels and not via Payments AI. I would recommend you to do it already at the beginning, so that when you're ready to launch your funnel, you don't have to come back and deal with the settings, because you won't be able to send emails from Clickfunnels without filling in this information, and domain verification also takes some time. Now let's talk about Clickfunnels page editor and see how it works. Whether you want to build a site or a funnel, create a blog post, a course, and so on, they all use the same editor in Clickfunnels. So once you get the hang of it, you will be able to use most Clickfunnels features easily. Let's start by building a simple opt-in funnel. From your dashboard, go to the Funnels section. Here you will have two options. You can either create a funnel from scratch or using different funnel or page templates, or you can use a smart AI funnel builder that will actually create a funnel for you, including the copy and the images. For the purpose of this video, we will build the funnel from scratch. But if you want to see how the AI funnel builder in Clickfunnels works, you can watch a tutorial by clicking on the card here. So I click Create Funnel. Again, you can use one of the funnel templates that already includes all the pages that you need, but we want to create a funnel from scratch. Give your funnel a name and also a path URL. By default, the name will be used as the path URL, and you, of course, can change it later in the settings of the funnel. Click Create Funnel. I will hide the funnel analytics so they don't distract us. To add the first page to your funnel, click this plus icon. Then select Page. Here you can see different page templates that you can use. On the left you will see different types, and if you use the specific type of the funnel page, let's say it's an auto form, not only does it look good already, it also has all important elements that you will need on a specific page. For example, an auto form will already have a checkout element. We will use a page template. I didn't want to use a full funnel template so that you see how to build different pages, how to add them to the funnel. So we go to the opt-in section and select one of the templates that we can use. I will use this page template. To select it, click Choose, then give it a name. You can already add some description and select the page URL, but we will also circle back to it when we are editing the settings of the funnel and all the pages, and after that click Create Page. To edit the page, hover over it and select Edit. You can hide the section on the left by clicking on the icon here. And before you start building a funnel in Clickfunnels, I recommend you to do two things. First, create your style guide. You can access it by clicking on the icon here. The style guide defines how different elements, for example fonts, buttons, borders, in your workspace in Clickfunnels will look like. And every time you add an element to the page or to the funnel that you are building, it will take the style that you set for this element in the style guide. Of course, you can also override that style in the settings of the element and select something custom, but overall the style guide will give all your pages and funnels a unified look. What you would need to do next is to go over the sections that you see on the left here and adjust how different elements will look like. For example, in this section, you can select how your headline, subheadline, and paragraphs will look like. You can select a different font, set a different size or weight for your font, and update other settings. And on the right, you will see an example of how specific text will look like. If we go to the colors, you will see the color palette that was imported with the page template that we are using. And if you don't like the colors, you can go ahead and adjust them on the left here, and on the right you will see some examples. Then you do the same for the shadows, borders, buttons, and corners. You can also switch the preview from the desktop to mobile view to see how different elements will look on mobile devices. It can be helpful for the font sizes. Once you're done adjusting different elements, just close this window. And the second thing that I recommend you to do before you start working on your funnel is to create so-called universal sections. Those sections are really helpful for footers and headers. If you save a section as a universal section, let's give it a name. It will get a purple border like this. Later you will be able to add it to different funnels, to your site. And if at some point you need to make changes in this section, let's say you want to update the year that you have in the footer, you only need to make the change in one section and save it. And Clickfunnels will automatically populate this change in every section on every page and on every funnel where you use that universal section. The style guide and the universal sections in Clickfunnels will save you a lot of time and effort and also give all your funnels and pages a unified look. With that out of the way, we can start working on our funnel page. Before I show you how to build a funnel in Clickfunnels, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to not miss our future tutorials. The page editor in Clickfunnels has different building blocks. The biggest one is a section with the green border. Then we have a row with the blue border. The row can have multiple columns or just one column. In this case, it's a row with 2 columns. And then we have different elements with orange borders. You can easily delete sections, rows, and elements that you don't need by hovering over it and then clicking the delete icon. And you can also easily add a new section, row, or element by hovering over existing section, row, or element. And then at the bottom of the border, you will see the button appearing that says Add Section, Add Row, or Add Element. Let's add a new row as an example. I click Add Row, then I can select how many columns I want in this row. Let's say 1 column. And after that, you can already drag and drop different elements into this row, like for example this headline. You can also easily rearrange sections, rows, and elements, either using the arrows that you will see here, just like this, or just by dragging and dropping the element where you want to have it. Hover over the element until the border appears, then hover over the move icon, press, and drag and drop it where you want to have this element. If you want to undo the change, just use the arrow here. To access the settings of the section, row, or element, hover over it and then click on the gear icon. It will open the section settings. Or you can just click on the section and it will also open the settings. Let's try this with the element. You hover over it and click on it, and you can already start editing. Or you can hover over it and then click on the gear icon to open the settings. Sections, rows and elements will have some common settings. For example, top margin, padding, sometimes background, but different elements will also have element-specific settings. To give you a better understanding how the page editor in Clickfunnels works, let's edit this page. Let's imagine that we're using this template and we want to customize it for our offer. The first thing that I would usually do is to delete the elements that I definitely will not need on the page. In my case, it's the row that I added extra. Just hover over it and click delete. We will need a footer, and we need that section where we're collecting the emails of our contacts in exchange for something that we are giving away. Usually on the opt-in page, I would show a picture of the lead magnet that I'm giving away in exchange for the contact information. I will have a headline, a subheadline. Then I also ask for the first name, not just email. And then we of course have a button, and we don't need that link in this case. Let's update all the elements so you see how it works. First, I want to update the image. I hover over it and click on the image, and it will open the image settings for me. You can go over the settings here and change the size, the position, the alignment. You can also add some padding, borders, and even a shadow to your image, but I will keep it simple. To update the image, go to the image URL and then click on the image icon. You can either upload an image from your device by clicking on the link here, or select an image from your gallery. I will just select an image from the library that shows a mock-up for some product, and that's what I usually would use on the opt-in page. Just like this, the image is updated. Right now it's too close to the border of the row. That's why I would increase the top margin for this image. Something like this already looks better. To update the headline, hover over it and click on the text, and you can already start editing the text. I will select the text and click the delete button. Then you can just start typing the text. To change the look of the text, you first of all can use the icons that you see on the bar here. For example, I can underline this text, change the alignment, and you of course can use the settings of the text element. To open the settings, click on the gear icon here. First of all, you can switch between the styles that you can see here. Those are the styles that you set in the style guide. And if you want to use the custom look for this element, you don't want to use the style from the style guide, just click on the icon with 3 dots here, and then you can select different look for this text element. Let's change the font for this text element so that you see how it works. I click on the button here, and then I can select a different font that I want to use for this headline. Again, if you don't like some changes that you made, just use this button to undo the changes. Next, you would need to change the text in the subheadline. Just click on the text and you will be able to edit it. I usually select the whole text and then delete it, and after that I start typing my own text. Again, if you want to change the look of this text element, click on the gear icon to open the settings, and then you can play around with the way the text looks. Let's add some background to this text as an example. I toggle this on to enable the background setting. As you can see, you can add an image for the background, you can use the color or even a gradient. To select a different color, I click on the area here. Then you can either enter the hex code for the color or select the color from the area here. And you can even select a different opacity for this background. The next thing that I would do is to add an input field for the first name, because I want to collect not only the email address but also the first name. The easiest way to do that would be just to clone this input field that we already have on the page. I hover over it and then click clone. Now we only need to change the text and also assign a different type of the content in the settings of this input field. In the input type, select first name. It will automatically update the text for the label, and if needed, you can also edit this text. You can set this field as required or not required. In my case, it will be required, and also change the look of this input field if you want. Last but not least, we have the button. For the button, we need to update the text. Of course, as always, you can also change the look of the button. And another important thing that you need to set for the button is the button action. Let's do that in the settings of the button. First, we need to change the text in the button text field. And then in the button section, make sure that you have the action that you need for this button. In our case, we want to submit the information that was provided by the contact in the input fields. That's why we already have the right button action set up, submit order or form. But overall, you can select from the actions that you can see in the drop down here. It's not only relevant for this button, every button should have an action set up for it. And another thing that I would do on this page is to increase the padding for the section here, because the distance that you see on top between the border of the section and the text is way bigger than the distance that we have from the button to the border at the bottom. To do that, I go to the settings of the section, then scroll to the padding bottom and increase it. In my opinion, it looks way better because this way the distance on top and at the bottom is pretty much identical. Now we have all the elements that we need on the opt-in page. We have an image of our lead magnet that we are giving away. We have some catchy headline and subheadline. We also have input fields to collect contact information, and we have a button that will submit this information. Don't forget to here and there save the changes. And before we start building our thank you page, there's one more thing that you need to do on this page, and that is to optimize the look of this page for mobile devices. You can switch between the desktop and the mobile view by clicking on the icons here. When you go to the settings of the sections, rows or elements, they all have a visibility setting. This setting will define if this element is visible on all devices, only on desktop devices, or only on mobile devices, or you can just hide this element. Let's say I want this image only be visible on desktop. To achieve that, I would go to the settings of the image and in the visibility section, select desktop only. You see that red border that appeared around the element and that says desktop only. It means that when we now preview the page in the mobile view, we will not see that image. To optimize the page for mobile view means that you need to preview it in the mobile view and see if it looks nice. Maybe some fonts are too big or too small, and that's why you need to adjust them. For example, this heading can be a bit bigger on mobile, and I can change the font size in the settings of this headline. I will go to the font size mobile, make sure that you adjust in the mobile size and not the regular font size, and then increase the size of this headline. You can see that the font size for desktop doesn't change. We are only increasing the size on the mobile devices. Then I can make the size of the label text smaller. In the settings of this element, I select label, go to the font size mobile. First I unlink the size of those fonts and decrease the size on mobile devices. And I will do the same for the other input field. I wouldn't show the image before the text on mobile devices because we want to have input fields and the button with call to action visible before the person should start scrolling. And if you want to show the image of your lead magnet, you can put it after the button. Here is how you do it. You go to the desktop, then we just clone this image. In the settings of the second image, we select mobile only. So we have one image for desktop and the second image for mobile. And in the mobile view, I just move this image below the button. And if we now go back to the desktop view, you see that the image is still where it was before. By optimizing your page for mobile devices, you will ensure that people who view your page from their phones will also have a nice experience. Don't forget to save the changes. And after that, we can go to our funnel. Next, we are going to quickly create a thank you page that also belongs to the opt-in funnel. To do that, click the plus icon, select page, and we are going to use one of the templates for the thank you pages. I will go with a minimal template like this. As we did on the opt-in page, give this page a name, add some description if you want, set the page URL, and then click Create Page. We will not go into details about editing the thank you page. Usually on that page you will let your contacts know that the lead magnet that you promised to them on the opt-in page is on the way and they will receive, for example, an email with the lead magnet. And you also can use a thank you page to promote another offer that is related to the lead magnet that they were interested in. Once you update the content on the thank you page, the next thing that we need to do is to update the settings of the funnel. To access the settings, click Settings. Here you will be able to change the name of the funnel, select a domain that you want to use for this funnel, and also set the path URL for the funnel. I would recommend you to use funnel path that is related to the content of your funnel. Don't use any random characters or random words. If I'm giving away a free book on this funnel, I would write something like view free ebook. Alright, next, if your funnel is ready, you can also disable the test mode. So make your funnel live. And if you don't want to have the Powered by Clickfunnels badge shown on your funnel, you should also hide it. After that, click Update Funnel to save the changes. And last but not least, we need to update the settings of each funnel page that we have in the funnel. Here we were updating the settings for the whole funnel. By the way, if somebody uses the link to the funnel that you see here, they will be redirected to the first funnel page. No matter if it's an opt-in page like we have now, or any other page that you may add in the future if you're updating your funnel. To access the settings of the funnel page, click this icon with 3 dots and then select Settings. You can update the name of the page here and also update the path URL. If we take the same example with the free book that I'm giving away on my funnel, for the opt-in page I would write something like view get your free ebook. Why am I writing view in the page URL here? Because if I want to create a split test for this page, I will not need to come up with any other path. I can just take get your free ebook and use it as a path for the page variation. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's save the changes here. If I would want to split test the page, I can do it by clicking Split Test Page here and duplicate the page that I already have in my funnel. You can see that this page already got a separate path assigned to it, but I don't want to have it like this with the copy word inside. In the settings of the page, I would just use the path URL, as mentioned, without the view part. Get your free ebook. Another important thing that we need to take care of in the settings of the page is the SEO and sharing information. You have the title, description, and you can even upload an image. And that's the information that people will see when somebody shares the link to your page or if your page shows up in the search results. That's why you should take some time to update the SEO title. Write something catchy there, something that will draw attention and also entice people to click on the link. And same in the description. Ideally, you would also use the keywords that you want your page to rank for. Here you can upload an image that will be associated with your page and also select if you want this page to be indexed in search engines. After that, click Submit to save the changes. And after that, we're actually done with the funnel. We covered all the details like the optimization for mobile devices, the SEO and sharing information, and even the page paths. And we also made this funnel live. Once you're ready, just grab this link that you can see on top here. That's the link to your funnel that will lead to the first funnel page, and you can share it with your audience. By the way, before you launch your funnel, grab our funnel launch checklist. You will find the link in the description of this video that will walk you through all the things that you need to check in your funnel to ensure that you don't have any issues during the launch. And of course, a funnel wouldn't be complete without email follow-ups. And thankfully, you can also do it in Clickfunnels. You don't need any third-party autoresponder, although of course you can use one, but you can also send your emails directly from Clickfunnels. Let's see how to attach email follow-ups, or in other words, workflow, to your funnel. You can do it directly from here, but let's first delete the split test page because we don't need it. Then you click the icon with 3 dots and select Attach Workflow. Create new workflow. Give it a name, then select the event type. In our case, it will be opt-in. And then click Create Workflow. Clickfunnels will automatically create a workflow with the trigger. When somebody opts in on our opt-in page in the funnel that we have just created, this automation will be triggered. And after the trigger is set up, you can start adding actions to this workflow. What should happen to the contacts who opted in on your funnel page? Click the plus icon to add an action to this workflow. You can send an email, send a digital asset that you have uploaded in Clickfunnels. You can pause and split test this workflow. You can add some delays, trigger another workflow. You can add actions that will help you to manage the contacts that ended up in this automation, like for example, add a tag, add a note, create an affiliate, create or move opportunity using the CRM features of Clickfunnels, enroll them into the course, give them access to the community, use some third-party integrations. If on your opt-in funnel you are giving away a lead magnet, the easiest way to deliver it would be to send an email with the link to this lead magnet. That's why we select an action Send Email, and then you can either select a template that you can see here or create your own template. Let's select a simple template. Enter the name for this email, a subject line and a pre-headline, then select from which address you want to send the emails and the reply to address. If you remember, in the beginning of the tutorial, I recommended you to set everything up for the email marketing, like adding your email addresses, and that's the reason why, because when you want to create email follow-ups for your funnel, you will already need to have an email address set up to create a follow-up email. Now we have a new step created in the workflow, Send Email, and to edit the email, click on the icon with 3 dots and select Edit Email. The email editor looks slightly different, but it follows the same principle as the page editor in Clickfunnels. On the right you will see different elements that you can use in your email, and you just drag and drop them into the area here. Let's say I would want to add an image element. To do that, I select this image element and drag it into this editor area. Then to add an image, I click Browse, and I will be able to upload an image. When you have the element selected in the edit area, on the right you will see different settings for this element. The template will already come with some text, and to edit the text, you just put the cursor on the text. You can select and delete everything and just start typing your text. And on the right you will see different settings for this text so that you can adjust the look of the text. If you go to the Rows tab, you will be able to select different layouts. For example, if I select this row, I can have an image on the left here and the text here. I take my image by pressing on the move icon and just drag it here. And then I select the text element so that the move icon appears and drag it here. This way you can create your email, and after you're done, click Publish. And then go back to the workflow. You can add different actions to the workflow that make sense for your funnel and for your flow. And after you're done, you will need to make this workflow live by toggling this on and clicking Enable. And now, whenever somebody opts in on the opt-in page of the funnel that we have just created, they will be automatically added to this workflow and will go through the actions that you have in your workflow. If you're just starting with Clickfunnels, I know that this can be a lot. There is really a lot to learn, but if you take it step by step and follow the tutorial, you will get the hang of the Clickfunnels editor and of the platform. And for the rest, you can check out our other tutorials that show you in detail how to do different actions, how to work with different features, and also grab our Clickfunnels course. You will find the link in the description of the video. That's it for today. If this video was helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to not miss our future tutorials. Thank you for watching and see you in one of our next videos.